So how much battery life does that have?
It should be good, hopefully.
I guess we'll know, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, no, once the light goes off.
Once the light goes off. So, again, we could just start. So, Polanco. First off, I don't really know your full name, your real name. So, what's your actual name?
My name is Alex Planco.
Oh, yeah. So, your last name is Polanco.
Yeah. It is Polanco.
Oh.
That's why they always
Why
call
just
me.
why just stick to that? Just Polanco.
No, that's AD. AD just was like,
Oh, really?
I came in. He's like, oh, that's it. You're Polanco.
Just like AWOL. He just calls him AWOL.
Yeah.
That makes sense. All right. So what exactly do you do now? Like,
So, I originally started off as an actor.
really?
Well, I still act. I'm still acting. That's my passion, actually, acting. But I figured since sometimes it's hard to get acting jobs, gigs, or
Yeah.
even free work is even difficult to get these days in acting. I was like, yo, I still want to be around that environment. So I was like, yo, let me get into camera. And I also like camera. Like, I love like having a camera, taking pictures, recording. Been doing it since I was like 12 was when I really got into like camera. I had like a little Canon Cyber Shot.
What the fuck, really?
Canon
Like the
Cybershot
point and shoot
12.
ones?
Yeah, the point and shoot ones. And that's when I really like was like, oh, shoot, this is dope.
What made you want to get into acting, though?
Well, I always liked acting since an early age. Watching actually TV, the Disney Channel had a lot to do with that.
So when was the first time you actually thought about, like, oh, this is what I want to do, though, acting? For a bit. Like, how old were you?
Well, ever since like seeing like them little TV shows growing up,
Like
I was
Disney
like,
Channel?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I was like, I love it. But then it really happened in like college was when I really like put it. Like,
Really?
this is what I want to do.
So you went to, like, classes for that?
Yeah. I was actually studying civil engineering. I was studying civil engineering, and I had a minor. Like my goal was civil engineering, minor in acting.
What the fuck?
Crazy difference, right?
Yeah.
But I just couldn't keep up with the
Yeah,
civil
this is good
engineering
coffee,
part.
by the way.
Yes,
But civil engineering is fucking intense.
it's
yeah.
intense. There was this one course I took 3 times, bro, and I
Yo.
couldn't do it. So I was like, okay, I guess this is a sign. Civil engineering is not for me.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
so I had to let civil engineering go. And I wanted to be a civil engineer because my ultimate goal was I wanted to build my own house. That was
nice.
that was
Yeah.
from growing up. I was like, I want to build my own house. But now I figure if I be an actor and I make the money, I pay somebody to do it. I still build my own
Dude,
house.
that's what I thought. I want to be an architect. I just never went through with it because, like, before I even knew, I was just like, yo, dude, fuck this shit. I'm going to get into business. Because once you're in business, you could just pay somebody, like how you said.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
you still have control. Like, whoever has the money has the control anyway.
Yeah.
So, but I did want to do architecture. So a lot of my photography, especially early on, was a lot of architecture. A lot. Like, just symmetrical, like, buildings, like, all that
Yeah,
stuff.
I
So,
remember
like,
when we went to the mall shopping with AD, and you saw that swirl pillar.
I just
He
love
was
the
like,
way...
yo, I gotta get a shot of that.
I just love the way, like, things are made like that. Like, it's all thought out like this. Like, it's like someone who has a design, and then an engineer figures out how to make that. But it first comes with the design. It's just like, then you figure it out. It's just like, all right, fuck it.
How about the pyramids? How did they come to be? Those are.
That's fucking law, people. That's lawyer shit.
Yeah.
Yo, well, that's crazy. So what school did you go to?
I went to City College.
Where city? Oh, it's in the city?
Yeah, it's in the city. It's in New York, Manhattan, on 137th and Convent. I love that school.
Yeah?
Yeah, I love it. It's so good.
I went to Passaic County Community College, and then I went to Montclair State. I like Passaic County Community College a lot better than Montclair State, though. But you know why, though? I think it's because I was working full-time to stay in school in Montclair State, and I went to full-time school. So all that money just went straight to that, and then after class, go straight to work, and vice versa.
You didn't take a loan out?
I did, but it was still hard, though.
Yeah.
I still paid like $7,000 a semester. It was a fucking lot, yo. That shit hurt. That shit hurt, yo. I didn't get a chance to, like, get financial aid because I think my parents were earning a little bit too much, technically. So, but they didn't save anything for me, so I just had to make that for myself. And
They're like, yeah, you figure it out.
Yeah, dude, it was hard, man. It was really hard. It was a hard time, though. Not, like, emotionally, more just, like, it was just tiring, dude. It was tiring as fuck. But I actually went to school for finance. And then I got into film and video, like, later on in life. Like, maybe like my last 2 semesters, maybe, something like that.
And you're a natural, bro. Your thing is, I love watching your work, bro.
Thank you, yo. Yo, when you saw, like, when you made that film thing that you just recently posted, What do you like to get into? Because I remember I was speaking to Lou, and he said that you like making stories.
Yeah. I write my own stuff most of the time. And I also like helping other ideas. Like if people come with me to ideas, I try to like see like how I can make them a little better. But my passion is storytelling. So whether that be somebody else's story, my own story, just storytelling in general, getting in character.
Because you like the acting part, right?
Yeah, I love it. There's something about like
really?
Creating this character and like being someone else. That's why actually I love the barbershop so much, because I was working in a barbershop like sophomore year in high school. And I loved this so much. I feel like that's what fueled me, actually. Like, now that I really think about it, that's what fueled me to get into acting.
Like being at the barbershop?
Being at the barbershop.
Why?
Because it's like every person that comes in, it's his own character. Like, we're all, like, you're a character. It's not, I'm not like trying to joke on you. But everybody is a character. Because you think about it, and there's like this persona that you are, that you have to like portray, whether you're like, I mean, if you're sad or happy, you like put those emotions toward it, but there's always like your character, and like, this is your character, and what would your character do? It's like your thought process. So you see all these different people, all different nationalities, how they act and everything, and it's like, that's like where I feel like I tap into. Like when I'm going over a character, let's say, and like I'm like, okay, this character does this. I'm like, I sort of go back. Like, I think my mind does it subconsciously. It's not like I'm actually thinking of the barbershop and all these people, but I think that's where I get it from. Like, I go back and I think, and I'm like, yo, what would this person do? And I actually made a story actually based on, like, the character wasn't fully somebody, but it was basically based on somebody in the barbershop and that lived in my building.
That's interesting that you like you revert back to like that stage of you being in the barbershop, and it's like you put every person in there, and then that's your meditation ground in a way.
I it's amazing. But then I also had to leave the barbershop. Like I told you before, it's just like so much time consuming, and I feel like,
And you started cutting hair like how long ago? You said in high school?
Yeah, like my 15th birthday wasn't in the barbershop, I remember.
Really?
Yeah.
Crazy. Why did you want to cut hair though? Like at first it just kind of happened?
So like I had a machine in my house. I feel like we all have machines in my house, and like I was always cutting like my little cousin's hair. There was my cousin's boyfriend, right now fiance, or husband, sorry, Gio. He was actually cutting my hair, and then I was like, yo, this is pretty nice. So I was cutting like my cousin's hair when he wasn't doing it. Then I started cutting my dad's hair.
That's a real test.
Yeah, that's the real test. And then like I was cutting my dad's hair, and like at first I butchered him a few times, of course, like anything. But then I was still going to the barber, and my barber was my dad's barber. So he's like, yo, he asked me, he's like, yo, where's your dad getting a haircut? You're always coming to me. Where's your dad going? And then I'm like, well, I'm cutting my dad's hair. He's like, you're cutting your dad's hair? He's like, all right, bring all your machines. Come, I got a seat for you.
Oh shit,
like
really?
That instantly. And it was because my dad is such a picky of a client. Like
so he knew
so
that?
he's like, yo, you're cutting your dad's hair, you're gonna start cutting here.
Oh shit, that makes sense.
But it was so different going into the barbershop than cutting my dad's hair. Cause like my dad's hair, he's my dad. So I'm coming in like, I fuck your hair up. What you
just grow back eventually.
Just grow back. But now here I am.
People are paying for this shit.
Exactly. People are paying for a service. And I'm just like cutting their hair, and I think that's the thing, and it actually has to do with nerves. Yeah, like I was so nervous.
I think it's a little different.
Messing people up.
Oh yeah.
In the beginning. Oh my god. Luckily, I started with my boys, my friends. There's till this day, there's one of my friends that won't get a haircut with me because he's scarred. He's scarred with the first haircut I gave him.
Yo, that's crazy though, because they pay like, I mean, how much did you guys charge for haircuts actually?
Back then, I think it was 15 haircut.
So they charge $15, but for some reason those $15 are like the most valuable, like $15 that person has spent.
Yeah.
So if they come back with like bad hair, they they rage, yo. Because I mean it's $15, like it's not a lot of money. Like it's just like, you pay for like a few minutes to get cut, but those $15 are like the most important $15 that people spend. Like if they really want a really good haircut, I'm assuming they'd go to like something like really good and stuff. But still like. That's what gets nerve-wracking too, I think.
There was this one client actually that I still remember. I think I will never forget. he wanted a shape up, and I was like, okay, so he's gonna get a shape up. So, bam, I'm lining him up, and with the machine. Then I have to get the razor. So I'm nervous as hell.
Oh shit! With the razor,
so I'm with the razor, and I'm shaking with the razor, and I put the blade in, and I'm shaking, and I could tell he's like just like looking at me. He's like, yo, you're okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. And right as I'm about to go to do his shape up in the front like this, he's like, hold on. I don't have the money right now. So I'm going to go get the money, but I'll be right back. I'm still waiting for him to this day to come back. He left. He never came back. I was like, yo, smart choice. I would have done the same thing, bro. I'm coming at him with the blade shaking.
Oh, so he never came back?
He never came back. He never came back to the barbershop. So I probably lost a lot of clients for the barbershop at the beginning. But now, now, I got to say now, I am a good-ass barber. If you need a haircut, hit me up.
Yo, because I be seeing you when you cutting, because you be cutting everyone's hair like at the studio, and like they all come out good, they come out good as hell.
Yeah, they love it. AD, AWOL.
Jesus Christ, dude! How much would you charge for that?
To them, they get a special discount. I charge them $40. Nah, let me stop. Nah, I just cut their hair, and I'm like, yo, give me whatever you want. But
that's nice. Because I always get haircuts, and I started out with this one lady in a salon because I used to have long hair. I used to have like skater boy hair, but before that I used to have it like long, but like on the side like this. So then little by little I transitioned to like skater hair, so it was like long, and then I used to go to the salon for that. Then like little by little I knew I wanted to have short hair like this, but this was like my freshman year. When you cut hair, like when you cut your own hair like from long to short, you get made fun of and stuff. So I wanted to avoid that. I was like, I don't want to.
So you did it by phase, so it won't be drastic.
I did it by phases, yeah.
Yeah, you're smart.
And I was like, I was like, in my freshman year, I was like, yo, by like senior year, like I'm most likely gonna have like shorter hair, but I can't transition that fast. Like I just can't. Cause I was nervous. I mean, when you're in high school, like that's what you think about, and like I was very self conscious and like myself in general. I mean, I don't really give a fuck. I'll shave my head and stuff. I don't really care. But yeah, I just kept thinking to like that. It's just like little by little, I'm gonna just transition. And then eventually, like, that lady just kind of kept botching up my hair. And I was like, yo, like, I mean, it's fine. Like, I come back from a haircut to fix it myself. So it's just like, at a certain point, I'm just like, yo, why am I paying for this shit? Like,
Then you started cutting your own hair.
The reason I started cutting my own hair was because of quarantine, though. I'm assuming a lot of people did that. But even before that, like, I still kind of always played with it. Because, like I said, I always corrected my hair because I knew how I wanted it. And for some reason, like, I would say, like, yo, just cut it like this. Leave everything else, like don't touch this part. Then obviously they touch it, so then I have to like fix it myself, like whether there's a sideburns. But one thing I really noticed was that when I read men's magazines like Men's Health, they say like if you cut like the underneath part of like, I mean now it's like facial hair, but back then it's like if you cut the back of your head and just line it up, it's always gonna kind of look like you have a haircut. So I kept that in mind, and I just always just corrected like any lines. Nothing crazy. Like I'd never get shape ups, but I always just cut the back of my neck hairs.
How do you do that? Because not even me. I mean, I would do it, but I would need like a mirror to like look through.
I use a mirror, but like I have like a razor. But again, before I was just like say right here in the back of my neck.
Yeah. I
just kind of feel where's the fuzz. Just go like that and just cut it out. I mean, I just kind of play with it. I don't really care because I don't really have like a perfect haircut. Like again, I never get shape ups. Like it's just
but your haircut looks good. Like your hair.
Because yeah, I try to keep it just not haircut fresh, but just like it just looks the same at all times. That's what I want. As long as it looks the same, I'm fine. Like if it looks like I never really get a haircut, that's 100% fine. I just leave it like that. I want to just stay consistent, like a cartoon character,
Yeah.
When you transition from like out of doing a barbershop, were you already into film? Or you were still into acting when you said?
I was into acting. I didn't get into film. Like when I really started getting into film was when I had a Canon. I got a Canon T3i. That's when I started like.
Yeah, that's way back.
Yeah, that's fact. That's when I started like taking it seriously. Film, because I was always into pictures, but film. That's when I started to get into it seriously. And then when I really started doing it professionally was with AD. I'm really thankful for that guy, AD, man.
AD's another monster.
Yeah, he's another beast.
What's
so great about him? I met him through Tommy.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Tommy, like, I wanted to work with Tommy for a while, like to do a skit. I had it written out.
Oh really?
And everything. I had the team and everything, and I hit up Tommy in the DM. I'm like, yo, Tommy. Excuse me. I'm like, yo, Tommy, I got this idea and I want to shoot it with, yo, this lady, look over there. This lady keeps looking over here through the window. She's like looking at us. She's like, yo, what they're doing every few seconds, that window over there, every few seconds. She's just like, yeah, she's just like looking over here. I'm just like looking at her every time she opens the window to look.
Oh, that's so creepy. You could see from this part?
Yeah,
oh my God.
No, it's that window right there. That window right there. She opens it up every few seconds.
It's so weird.
Yeah, I know. She's just like, what are they
we need
doing?
that natural light though. So
No, it's cool. I don't care. I don't feel uncomfortable. I'm just like wondering because she's did it like 10 times already. I'm like counting every few seconds. She's like, okay, they're still there. They have their headphones on and their mics. I wonder what they're doing.
Dude, you live in the mountains though, so like that makes sense. Like any little thing that happens, you kind of want to be nosy about.
Yeah. So yeah, I met AD through Tommy. I hit him up and I'm like, yo, I got this skit. I got this team. And then we did it. We did the skit. And then from there on, you know.
You just kind of been going to the studio?
Yeah, we just kind of been vibing. And he brought me to the studio. That's when I met AD.
Yeah. Wait, so when was that then? How long ago?
That was, I want to say like 3 years ago maybe.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was not too long ago.
That's around the time like I met AD and Lou. I didn't know Lou for that long, actually.
You guys act like you guys are best friend. I thought you guys knew each other for forever.
I actually knew Bree first. And then when they were dating, that's when I met Lou afterwards. So then we shared the studio when he had the studio, like when he first started. But that's really
you shared the studio that? Mm-hmm. Okay.
So that's really when I met Lou, and I didn't really meet AD for a while actually. Like he was always there, Lou was always helping him out. But I've always respected AD because AD looks like he knows what he's doing, and he really does though. Like even after talking to him, he's just like, when it comes to his business, like he's pretty clear set, like on how he is.
And what's so great about AD is that he don't care about sharing the knowledge.
No, he doesn't.
Like he'll just tell you everything he knows. He's like, yo, he's an open book.
Which is what like I respected about him a lot. And Lou would talk about AD very highly. So I've always like respected AD. And it wasn't until like I actually podcast him that I really like got to like connect with him. But even sharing the studio, like I never really hung out with like AD like that.
Yeah, because people think AD is like this tough, like, yo, no, we can't talk to him.
He's just quiet, dude.
Yeah, he's quiet. He's just quiet. But I'm not gonna lie. At the beginning, I was like, damn, this guy. How do I even get to talk to him? You know, I would like send him DMs like, yo, I want to work with you. I love your work. This and that. He probably gets like thousands of those.
Yeah, probably.
Then it really happened. I was like, oh shoot. Then I told him, I was like, yo, you remember you went back and seen all the DMs I sent you? Like, I wanted to work with you. He was like, yeah, but I get thousands of those, bro. I don't pay attention to that.
Oh, really? Like, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense, though. He probably gets a lot of people to, like, hit him up. He's, like, a great, like, it's just, like, if you want a good video, that's it. You just go to AD.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's fine. It's just, like, a great video. Because it's so clean. And I never really seen him in his creative process, now that I think about it, though. He just kind of does it. So...
He like writes out these whole like templates.
Is that what it is? Yeah, I never really seen him actually do it. But he's really smart. Like I respect him. And again, like I didn't really hang out with him until like I did the podcast, and that's when I actually got to know him. But I've never shot anything with him though. Like just I don't think I've ever really done anything with him yet.
No.
Not even
BTS. You've done BTS with him.
But that's only because I'm passing by. You know, it's not like when he's just like, yo, can you do BTS for this? I'm just like, all right, cool. It's more just like I'm there and I'm just like shoots because like that's what I like doing. I like people's like environment. Yeah, that's what I like about people. Yeah. Like how you said you like people, their character. I think about like their history, and if I see you, like I think about like what you went through to become like where you are now. And that's what I really like. I like storytelling like that. So when people are in their environment,
you like docs.
Documentaries. It's like documentary kind of way. I just think it's legit. Like if you look at movies and TV shows, like one of the better ones are usually real things that happened. Because it's interesting. It's like that actually happened. Like what the fuck?
So you're like the real characters of the people. Like their individual
I think real
character.
people are a lot more interesting. Yeah. Just because it's real. Like you get fiction based off like real events, but when real events are still surpassing fiction, that gets crazy. It gets trippy because you're like, how do these people actually exist? Yeah. Like Narcos, how did that actually happen? Oh shit, that's fucking wild. Like, it's just like that's why serial killers are so interesting because it's just like, how do you believe someone like that actually exists? That sounds like a fiction novel, but things like that happen, and that's interesting. I think that's crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's just it's still talked about. And when it comes to like artists and creatives, like having people's history not jotted down, like documented over time, that's what makes them valuable. I feel like that's the important thing, which is why I like talking to people when it comes to that. So I think it's interesting.
Yeah, that's how I get into character. I mean, I try to like think of their whole backstory to every character. I've seen like how you said, like all these, or what events led them to be where they are right now.
Yeah, it's mad crazy. So what are you working on now? Like, what are you planning on doing?
So, recently, actually yesterday, we were just watching a screening of a sci-fi film we did, which was pretty.
Oh, really?
Interesting.
No way.
I should have emailed you. I should have put you on the email list, bro. Damn. I'm gonna talk to
again.
him.
We'll connect afterwards, so don't worry.
So you can check it out. It's a 30-minute short film. It's so nice, man. It's like about this, like, it's called Iridescent, and it's trippy because it's like about this. There's like this tub and there's this liquid, and basically, this liquid allows you to get into people's memory.
Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's so trippy. I don't want to give too much away to you.
Is this like your project or like you're working with somebody?
I was acting in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot you're into acting. So would you prefer acting way more than film, or is just equal now at this point?
You know, I haven't really thought about it recently because I always said acting preferred, but after I got the camera now, the professional camera, and I've been like working. And I really enjoy that too.
You're fucking black magic. Like that's a little more than just interested, you know?
Yeah. But I think there's something just about getting into the character that I really love. But I'll put them. It's like right there. It's like it's not. They're competing.
Close.
They're competing.
Really
they're
close.
fighting. But I'll pick
yeah.
acting. I'll pick acting over.
I don't know. I never really got into acting, dude. Like I really can. I could be myself, but that's about it. Like I don't really. I like orchestrating it though. I think it's cool. But mostly just seeing people in their environment. Like seeing you in a daily life is a lot more interesting to me than creating like a script. Maybe because I haven't got into it yet, like how you guys have. So I gotta really sit with you guys to see how that actually works. Because I've never really done that before.
No.
Not create something like that from scratch.
Like what? Like acting or like creating like a story?
Mm-hmm. Like creating a story, just like a made up story. It's more just like reflecting on what actually happened. Like right now, I'm doing a skate film I want to do. But it's reflecting on like how my experience was during that life.
Yeah, you're actually pretty nice. When I saw you like skating,
I used to be sponsored, dude.
Oh really?
Yeah.
You were sponsored and everything.
It was like a Flow sponsor. It was like a local company. Like shout out to like Mustard Skateboards. They put me on when I was like a teenager, so I used to get like free boards every once in a while.
Yeah, you were nice. I was like, yo.
Nah, I like it. I loved it, dude. I love skating, and that's why I think it's so important because I want to document like that whole experience. And then put it the way I saw it. Because while I was skating, dude, I kept thinking that. Even before I got into film and photo, kept thinking, like, this is how I'm going to portray it. This is how I'm going to tell people how it happened. So, like, everything that was happening, I'm just, like, I was just jotting down these scenes in my head. And I was like, this is how I'm going to remember it. And then as things were passing by, I'm just like, this is how I want to remember it. Even, like, little things like... So, my friend Leandro, he passed away. So, like, it's... That one really hurt because it was just like he showed us the skate life for me at least. He used to bring us around everywhere. He was like the older kid, so he was the only one that could drive. And like as like a 15, 16-year-old, we would just hop in his car and he'd just take us places to like skate spots. So it was nice to experience that. And then like I remember like the late night drives to like coming back from like a long day of skateboarding, and he would blast like the weekend music. And I just remember like just going through like the summer nights, like going through the highway and just looking around, like just looking at the whole night scene and then just listening to that music. So to this day, I still listen to him like that. And I really got into him because of like him. And he's still like one of my favorite artists, but more because he has like a certain memory, I guess, tied down to it, you know?
Yeah.
So things like that, like I've always documented that in my head. I'm like, this is how I want to remember it. So now I want to tell it like that sense.
Yeah, when you're going to do it, let me know. I want to play a part in it.
I was going to ask you about it, if you could help me out with that. Cause
definitely.
I definitely want to make it into like an actual film, like a short film, like how you have it. But I definitely need a lot of help with that because it's going to be a bigger project than like I thought it would be. But it's cool. So right now you have that film going on.
Mm-hmm.
What else do you have going on?
I have that film. I have also a web series. I started with my boy Isaac and Andrew, and actually Nueva York is in there. Tommy 5K
Oh,
is
really?
in there. Yeah.
What's the web
Ivan
series
is
about?
in there. It's called Limpiar. So, so it's basically like COVID, when COVID hit, and like these guys are like trying to like to get their hands on some valuables.
Yeah.
It's like a comedy. It's like drama comedy.
Okay.
Yeah, and actually, it's up now. So the first chapter, I think he made it into chapters. The first chapter is available free, so guys should go look at it.
Oh, where on YouTube?
It's on Vimeo.
Oh, Vimeo. Oh, that's legit. Then you have the quality right there.
Yeah. He put it up on Vimeo, and this guy Isaac, he shot that thing by himself.
Really?
The whole thing. Like I mean, I helped him out a little bit in the scenes that were here in New York, but this thing it's an amazing film. Like
Really?
the direction of photography.
It's done in chapters.
Yeah, he did it in chapters. I mean, he made it one whole film. So he'll show you. Actually, I'm gonna send it to you so you can take a look at it too.
Mm-hmm.
He shot the whole thing and made it like one. It was like an hour 40.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I think it was like it was
That's
pretty
a long one. Yeah,
it's long. He went all out. But then from feedback and stuff, he was like, "Yo, I'm gonna give it to them in chapters. That way,
people could actually watch it.
People could But it's good. It's good. The quality is amazing.
And what's it about?
He's just trying to push
COVID?
it out. It's about like everybody's like trying to get their hands on something that's valuable. I don't want to give it away without they're trying to get their hands on something that's valuable. It's like surviving during COVID, like how people betray
during that
each
time
other.
period.
Yeah.
Dude, that was wild.
Yo, it was wild.
It's just
I
weird.
mean, he exaggerated it, but it's so good. It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. The shot he got, he was able to get a plane in there. Like, this guy.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah. He went to the airfield and got a plane taken off.
So what was your role in it? You were acting in it?
Yeah, I was acting in it and like helping him get the people together. Yeah, so he called me Not. He's like,
he called you what?
Not, because he's like, my character was named Not because basically I was connected to everyone and I helped him get like most of the people together.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was dope.
Damn, so you got the web series, the film, and you have any personal projects going on?
I've been like thinking of ideas. I'm starting writing some stuff because I wanna make another project.
What are you interested in though? Like, what do you like to do?
Like,
as far as topics,
I like drama.
Like drama?
I like drama and comedy. But like, I feel like drama. I mean, he made this drama comedy, but to me, I like drama or comedy. Like, I feel like for me, it's like
it's a balance between
comedy. Them? Yeah. Like, it was interesting that he put them both together. That's why I took on this project too, because it's like it's both things I like. Yeah. So, but I never thought of putting them together, which is interesting.
I'm not a very serious person. Like I like joking around. I just can't portray that in a film.
Yeah.
I like drama, but I like having subtle hints of like just like comedy, I guess, in a way, or like you just know I'm joking.
Yeah, that's how it is. Like that's how the web series is. Okay. It's like strictly drama, and then there's like, wait, what? Oh shit! Okay.
Like subtle hints.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's mad dope.
It's not like drama, and then like they'll break laughing or whatever, Like
this, I want to see that. You got to send me the link. So I got to watch that film.
Yeah, I'm definitely sending.
And then the web series or that. You said the first chapter's out right now?
Yeah. The web series, I'll send you the whole thing so you can take a look at it.
Yeah, because I want to post it up too. I'll like link it on top of this. So, as far as being a creative in general, what do you like to portray? Like, what do you want to portray?
Portray in the sense of like what, like myself or like my work.
Like when you create stuff, do you want to send a message out?
Oh, definitely. I feel like that's when it's strongest. Actually, I made a play. Like that's another thing I wanted to do. I made a play when I was in college. The Illusion of Love, it was called.
Aw, fucking romantic guys.
It was interesting because my teacher picked it up and produced it.
Oh shit, really?
And we put it out and we put it in a festival and we actually saw it.
So you wrote that?
Yeah, I wrote it, the whole thing.
Oh wow!
I mean, she like edited it. She helped me like make it better.
Yeah, but you had like the basic.
I wrote the whole thing. It's like 40-something pages.
Oh wow!
So I want to make that into a film. And I mean, I would have to update the script because back then that was when like I think Kim Kardashian. I like based most of it like Kim Kardashian talk, like like.
Oh,
like
that former manner.
Yeah, like I would have to update it now, Like, I feel like now if I would update it now, I'll put more Cardi B in it.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you know, more like references to her. But I want to make that into a film. That's a project. But again, that's going to like, I have to sit down and like look at the script again, write it over.
Do you think everything you do has like a theme, or you're just still like bouncing around ideas?
Well, that's how it starts off when I'm starting to write something. It's like
Just bouncing out ideas.
Yeah, I just like, because I feel like because the creator's block. I want to go to that too. Like, I sometimes if I'm like sitting down, I'm like, yo, I want to make this theme, and I want to do this, and I want to do that. It all sounds great until you like take the pen and paper out, and you're like,
try to write it down.
Shit, nothing's coming. Like, what am I gonna do? So like, what I did recently, and what I actually did with this play, which was like, I didn't really tell anybody. This is exclusive information right here. You only getting this because Elvis is here.
Play.
Yeah. So what I did with the play was like, I just took my pen and paper out, and I was like, yo, I'm just gonna flow. Like, whatever. I didn't even think of anything. I was just like, whatever comes to my head, I'm just gonna write. And I just wrote. And then after I wrote, I came back to it. I let it rest for a little bit. I came back to it, and I'm like, okay, where can I go with this now that I have something here? And I was like, okay, I could go this direction. And then that made it easier to like keep writing. But as far as like,
you made 40 pages, goddamn.
Well, I didn't make 40 pages in one sitting. No.
But that's over time. But still, though, that's 40 pages, though.
But 40 pages, and like, you know, when you're doing dialogue, each character gets like a line. And
that makes sense.
Yeah, so it's not like.
But still, though, like I guess it's hard. I've never done that before. I never wrote a script, so I can't imagine like how you did it.
Well, I was also taking playwriting class, so it was like it was basically homework as well.
Yeah.
But it evolved because I was taking this playwriting class. That's when I started that play, and then it wasn't that long. And then I took a new play collaborations class, and that was like, yo, when you want to take a play and like, you know, put it out. So like we had like a little group, and we performed it for like our class, and then after that I was like, yo, I really want to like see what this can go. Yeah. And then the professor was like, "Oh, really? I was thinking about like, you know, there's this festival. I'll take producer role for it, and like, you know, we can do it there." And I was like so grateful for her, Kathleen Potts.
And that's when you went to school, right?
Yeah, that's where I went to school in City College.
Oh shit, that's mad cool though.
But we actually put it up in a theater in 4th Street, which was like amazing. It was like, yeah.
So you want to make it into a film? Yeah, that'd be mad cool actually.
Yeah, because like, I got reviews. I got critics that actually came and reviewed the
Oh,
thing.
really?
Yeah, I got one great ass review and one review that was like, okay, this is like everything else we see.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, you hater ass mother. No, stop.
So what were the great reviews about? Like, what did they focus on?
So they said they liked the story and like the concept and like the love triangle, because it's basically like a love triangle story.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one was like, yeah, this is always like how the love triangle stories are.
Jesus
like,
Christ.
Oh God. So
it's always like that.
Yeah, it's like one guy critiques it really harshly, the other one was really good, but I don't care how people critique it.
So was that actually like a bad review though? Like that made you feel? How did you feel with that one?
Yeah, at the first time when I read it, I was like, damn, I felt defeated.
Really?
I was like, yo, I've been putting so much time and effort into this shit for somebody just to come like kill me like that. It's like a critic, you know? It's like this is like what people get paid to do, critique work.
Fucking assholes. That's what they are.
Yeah. But then I was like, yo, you gotta learn how to take criticism. Like, not everybody's gonna love your work.
How do you stay motivated then, in general?
You just gotta believe in yourself, honestly, and you just gotta like know what you did. Well, you gotta believe in yourself, of course, and then you also have to like trust yourself and like the people that you present it to, you know. You'd be like, yo, you're my boy, but tell me what you think for real before I put this out. Don't come over here and tell me like it's good and then let me put some garbage out there, you know. So that's why I get to show people also, like, you get their reactions. And like when I'm showing people, I don't like, I go up based on what they say also, but I'm also looking at them to see how they react to certain things, you know. Because that's when you can tell, like, you look at people while they're looking at your stuff and you see their reactions. You're like, okay, he reacted here. Oh no, he didn't react here. He's supposed to react here. So I gotta change this and somehow to make him react. Yeah.
That's really smart. It reminds me because when so whenever you see like a good looking person walk by, I always look at the people around me. It's mad funny when you see like people react to like that. And it's just like it's just I always think that's what it just reminds me of. I just always think of like that in people's reactions. So I do the same thing whenever like we watch movies too. It's like it is smart to like go based off of that, especially your own work.
Yeah. You gotta look at the reaction. That's the only thing that would tell you. Because at the end, some people like, believe it or not, some people want to be nice. Like they don't want to like, and some people don't care. Some people just want to like. Some people want to be extra nice, and some people want to just always have something negative to say.
Yeah.
So like that's why you know,
It's
unless
not
you
really
know
legit.
the person and you like you know what they're about, and they're like really gonna tell you about the art and like how it is, you always have to base it off their reaction, because they can always fix it at the end. Like, oh no, it was great, and then mind you, it wasn't great, or like, oh, it was horrible, and then mind you, it was good. You know, like.
So you want legit criticism? Like
Yeah,
want,
legit criticism.
What makes you want to create though in general? Like, why do you like doing it?
I like bringing a story to people and like just seeing people react. Actually, that's
Yeah?
what I get a kick out. Like people reacting. Like if nobody reacts, I'm like, damn, I didn't do nothing. Like I want to make you uncomfortable. I want to make you like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. If I didn't make you uncomfortable watching something, then I'm like, damn.
That makes sense. What do you want to do eventually though? Like, what's your end goal?
End goal? I want to be known for my acting.
Oh yeah, so it is acting. There you go.
It is acting.
It's still like.
But storytelling in
like
general.
right there,
Storytelling in general. So like I could tell a story without acting, but I want to know for storytelling. Yeah, I should rephrase that. I want to be known for my storytelling.
Now you said acting. That was your first choice.
I said acting. It's always been acting.
Yeah, that's mad cool though. But at least now you could control your acting, like where you want to be in. Because it'd be cool to make your own film. I mean, that's what a lot of like major movie stars do. Still, they create their own film and then they just act in it.
Yeah, that's actually why I started making my own stuff. I was like, yo, I'm here on backstage, you know, working for other people. Most of it wasn't paid.
Yeah.
Might as well just make my own stuff.
How do you practice your acting?
How do I practice? Well, back when I was in college, it was easy to practice. Now recently, I just go over the lines, keep going over the lines over and over in my head. But it's so crazy. You know why? Because I feel like when I'm acting, there's this like one take that you have to get, you know, like if you don't get it, it will never come out the same. Every take doesn't come out the same. Yeah. So like, it's interesting when I'm acting because I'm always like, that's why I got the camera too. And like, I started like getting behind the scenes and with the camera, cause then you know, like certain things, like you're like, okay, if we're doing his angle right now, I'm not going to give my 100% on my lines right now. Like, you know, I'm going to feed him to him and I'm going to give him like at least a good 80% like there. But I feel like I can't tap into my emotions all the way 100% until like it's like either a wide shot or focus. Like, you know, you have to like, that's what I didn't notice before. Like I would just come into the scene and give it my 100%. Yeah. And then it'll be like, okay, now we're going to do your headshot, like your focus. This is gonna be on you. I'm like, damn, but I just gave it my 100%. Like, and now I'm trying to like match what I did before, so it's never gonna come out like as authentic.
Oh wow, okay. So that's how you think of it.
So that's how I think. That's my process, my creative process when I'm like acting. So like that's how I feel like I make it better now because now I'm aware of the camera, of the sound, like everything. So being aware of all these elements, but it's so tricky because now that I am aware of everything, like sometimes I'm aware of everything. And like now I have to be aware of the character because it's like your mind. You can't do two things at once. Well, maybe you could do two things at once, but me, like it's either like I'm gonna have to like be acting in it or paying attention to my surroundings because to get into character, you really have to. It's like a job. You really have to get into character. You're not gonna be like, okay, the camera's here, this and this and that, because then like
how does that feel when you get into character?
It's interesting. It's like a whole mind process. Like. I'm just like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's just like, okay, now I have to turn on and I just like flick the switch and I'm in character and I'm just like in it and not paying attention because that's when it comes out most natural, most believable when you're not paying attention to like, okay, the camera's here. Like you're aware of it. Like, okay, now we're going to shoot right now. Okay, I know the camera's here. The mic is here. So I know I have to be like, I know this is my frame. Okay, I have to be here. All right, turn on and like I'm in character and I'm here and I'm going to just perform right here. But thing is you have to know when is your take to give it your 100%,
like how you described like that either that close-up scene or like that shot that's solely like, based off of you.
Like when it's your shot, that's when I would give it my my all, because I find myself trying to match that after. And like once you're trying,
it doesn't work.
once you're trying to match something, it's never gonna come out the same.
Oh shit! When you get into character, like, do you, especially reading a script, like, do you spend time like trying to get into a character? Like, what do you do for that?
Yeah, definitely spend a lot of time. So like, what I would do, like, and what I learned while I was in school, people don't like to be in front of the mirror. They say don't get in front of the mirror. But I feel like, how else am I going to see myself and my character and like see how I'm transforming into the character? I get in front of a mirror. So like I'll try to like, I'll read the script. First thing I'll do, read the script, not in front of the mirror. I'll read the script, analyze it, be like, okay, this person did this. I'm trying to like figure out like more or less what he would do. Then after I read the script, I go in front of the mirror and I'm like, what tics does this person have? Like, you know, and I try to like make my like facial expressions, like how would this person talk? Like, where does this person carry his body weight? Like, does he walk with his chest out? Is he like a confident person? Does he walk with his chest out? Is he more like shy, intimate? Is he in? Does he come in and talk like this? Like, it's like, first I try to transform the body, because once I feel like you have the body down packed, I feel like the words and everything will come out. So like I transform the body one by one. So I'm like, okay, does he walk with his chest? If he doesn't walk with his chest and he walks like this, I'm like, okay, he walks like this. Is he like slunched a little over? Like, you know, does he have any mannerism? Does his lip maybe I want to make his lip like come up a little bit this way. So he maybe he has like a little thing right here. And like that, then I go evolving from there. And then sometimes I was like, okay, it's too much, so now I have to take something off. Maybe the lip going out isn't a good choice for this one. So just like, you know. Then I'll work on his voice.
And then you work on his voice?
The voice is the last thing.
Though? Oh, the voice is the last thing?
Mm-hmm.
How would you make that judgment though? I guess when you read the script, like you just kind of make a character on your own in the way.
So I go back to the barbershop. And like I combine, like it's not like each of my characters aren't based on one specific person, but rather a combination. So like, cause it's like whatever you see, somehow it stays instilled in you. Like, and that's what I tap into. So whatever you see, you're like, okay, this person, I saw this in this person. I feel like this will work for this character. This person has will work more on this character. And that's basically what it is.
Yeah, that barbershop reference, that's trippy.
It's trippy. I mean, and it's not only the barbershop. Like, it's everyone I ever encountered.
No, you know? But I'm saying the fact that you use that as that's your stage for a person.
Yeah.
That's trippy.
That's where I first put him in the barbershop. Yeah.
That's so trippy, yo. That's cool. I like it. You gotta.
And you know what's so crazy? It's like in the barbershop, it's like you get to know people, because like it's not like in the street. Like I bump into you and like I'm talking to you constantly. Like I have this person sitting down in the chair. Like I'm cutting his hair. Like I'm seeing every mannerism of him. Like when you get to know a person, is when you're around them and they're quiet, not when they're talking.
Oh,
that's crazy.
Oh shit, that's
crazy,
cool.
Right? Because like they're quiet and you're cutting their hair. I mean, you get to know them when they talk, of course, but I feel like you get to know a person most
when they're quiet.
When they're quiet. Is that so weird?
I didn't even think about that. I was just about to say too that like whenever I go to a barbershop or something, I never talk. Like I'm just like, that's my meditative state.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, like, I always fall asleep, so like that's why like I don't know, people like that's why I don't really talk. I usually fall asleep when they're cutting my hair.
Talking your hair. Yeah, you're like, yo, what?
But you're right though. I didn't think about that. So that's how you like looked at people when they were quiet.
Mostly when they were quiet, because that's how like, you know, that's how I feel like you build a character. You build a character off of like their body first. That's why I always use their body first, like where they carry their weight. Like, you know, I'm not judging people. I'm just observing people. Like, okay, they walk this way. This is where they carry their weight. Like, oh, they do this. Like I see you like you do this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not like, you know, I'm just
right.
observing you. So you do this and you're like, so that would be a character.
Yeah.
That would be like I would use that for a character that I feel like we'll see fit.
Yo, that's mad cool.
Like,
yeah.
And like, you know, you haven't said anything. Like, well, we've been talking all this time, but I mean, right there, you didn't say anything, but it's just like something I'll put that in the bank, like store that. And that would come up like when I'm in front of the mirror, like first building their body. I'll be like, okay, maybe this character has this little, you know, he does that or whatever. And I'll add that to the character. And then the voice always comes. Like the voice, I can adjust, like, you know, wherever you can always adjust the voice. But the hardest part is like building him as far as like body wise, and what does he do?
Yeah, that's mad cool. I never thought about that. I've always wanted to talk to somebody who like was more interested in like acting, and I didn't even know that about you, to be honest. That's why I wanted to come talk to you. I wanted to see what you were about. But that's mad cool. That's how you build it. You build it by the body first. Everything comes afterwards, which makes sense, though.
Because if you don't, the thing is, like, I learned that's not how I always did it. I don't get me wrong. That's a lot of trial and error. Because the thing is, if you build him with the voice first,
yeah,
I feel like, at least for me, my voice was always changing. Like, I would start a character with a certain voice, and then like I would change the voice, and like, or I wouldn't be mindful of my body. Like, I would start him with, I would have a voice, and then one scene he's like walking with his chest, and then the other scene he's like this. So like, you know, you always want that consistency to create the character, and like so people can relate, and it doesn't look like two characters. Like every time you're in a different scene, it's another character.
Do you consider yourself like a director or like more of a screenplay writer?
Like, it's interesting. I would consider myself more a screenplay writer, but I also like giving like small directions. Even when I'm like helping anybody out, I won't step on nobody's toes and be like, yo, do this. I'll go to the director or whoever it is and be like, yo, what do you think? Always, what do you think if, like, you know? And then you hear them out. If they sometimes they'll be like, oh yeah, that's good, and then they'll give that advice. And sometimes they'll be like, no, you know, this and that. But then that's how I would do. Like,
yeah, that's mad cool.
I always give my input. Like, yo, maybe this might be a little more interesting. Maybe this, and then you like work off it like that.
So your main goal is really to be like a storyteller. In a way, just like a storyteller.
Definitely storyteller.
I would ask you, how do you plan on doing that? But it seems like you already have like.
I don't have it all figured out.
No, but not figured out. But as far as you're already taking the steps for it.
Yeah, definitely taking the steps, but there's still a lot of work to be done.
So what else do you think you should work on?
Well, I feel like you just have to keep constantly be around this. Like, even this right here is working.
Yeah,
we're here talking. This is working. This is getting my creative juices flowing. Like, I'm thinking already of ideas that I didn't have. Like, basically, always be around the camera, I would say. And if you're not around the camera, always do something creative. Even like, you can work on something creative. You don't even have to do it, but just by you like working on it and like maybe writing some ideas out, you're already like bettering it yourself and like getting ready for the next thing you do.
Who do you want to work for eventually?
Who do I want to work for eventually?
Or with?
Honestly, I want to work with Netflix.
Yeah?
I want to somehow find myself into like Netflix. I feel like that's the future right now, streaming.
Yeah.
Like, even with this COVID thing, that just, it's unfortunate, but like, I don't see movie theaters like, at least now, coming back like strong.
It's hard, man. And especially because it's such a nostalgic kind of thing. Like, going to the movies is like a thing to do. Mm-hmm. But so was like driving movie theaters.
Yeah.
And that's just gone.
Yeah, that shit's gone.
That's
too,
gone.
Man.
And we have better cars. It's not like we didn't have good cars, you know? Like, it's a lot more comfy. There's heat. There's like, more silent. They're less bulky.
And like, my boy Isaac would like, he's probably going to hate me for saying I want to work with Netflix, because what he wants to do with me and Andrew and like whoever wants to be a part of is he wants to create his own platform, like, you know, his own streaming platform and like of our own content. And I'm working with him, and that's what we're doing now.
Well, you have a separate goal, though. That makes sense, because your goal isn't to create like a platform. Your goal is more just to have one of the best stories.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's completely out of your mind. Like, that makes sense. And
that's what that's the next thing. Like, what I feel like, to be successful in doing that, you have to find, like how you were saying before, a theme that everyone can relate to. And that's what it is. You have to find a theme that everyone can relate to, and then create a story around that. That's difficult, though.
It is difficult.
Yeah, it sounds so easy. Like, yeah, just find something everyone can relate to and do it. No, when you actually like sit down and do it.
Yeah, because that's to actually hit emotion.
Yeah.
It can't just be context. Mm-hmm. Can you control your emotions like that? Like, can you like if you're getting into a character, can you like cry on demand and stuff?
I've cried on demand. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna send you a few. I'm gonna send you a few films actually that I've done. Actually, I created another film too. I forgot to mention it. What was it called? It was called The Lucky 2. Yeah, I created the Lucky 2. I submitted it to the Dominican Film Festival.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, and
Damn,
actually
I'm
gonna put it out too now. Yeah, it's pretty.
I need your help with that, man. Like I said, I've never created like an actual film. I've always been concentrating on like the visuals aspect of things. Like I like how things look, and then story just kind of follows it for me. But I know story is like really important, like for anything in general.
Yeah.
Like an interview is a lot more important than just a perfectly visual piece. But then again, a visual piece hits different stimulus. So it's also like, I like when people look at it and they reflect on themselves in that way. Like they see what they want to see. So like a lot of things when I put out, like I try not to write too much context in a way.
Yeah, like what I like about exactly. That's what I like about your thing. Like visual, you nailed it. I mean, I was gonna like say the same thing. Like you make people tell their own stories with whatever you visualize in your thing, and it's so good to have that because that's something everyone can relate to. Visuals.
Yeah.
You interpret that your own way. I mean, you make your own story. Like it's obviously there's a story to it, but people interpret it in their own way. Like people relate to it with their memories.
I like that. Yeah.
That's
I like when people interpret their things in their own way because a lot of great art pieces they're just like that. It's there's not much context. Like the Mona Lisa, like was she real? Like was she not real? Was it a guy? Was it a girl? Was she smiling? I don't know. What do you see? But that's what I like.
And everyone sees something different.
Everyone sees something different, and that's what I think is so cool because it's more like a psychological thing. Oh, you know what it is too? I've always been interested in the psychological aspect of people, like why they work a certain way. Not necessarily like how you said you like have their character building. I like seeing why they got to that place in the first place. Like why did I do this? Like why did I do that? I do that because I usually bite like my little like skin right there.
Yeah.
And it's never. And it's.
I didn't mean to call you out on that.
No, but that's just
because we were talking and that was the first thing.
But that's just the first thing like I started thinking about. Like, why do you do that? Like, I'm trying to even think. Like, it's just like little things like that. Like, why do people stand up straight? Why do people like slouch? Like, there's a reason behind that. Do they have a back problem? Maybe not so. Do they just don't feel comfortable? Like when people go like this a lot, like closed in. Like, are they very timid? Like, just like how you describe, like, a character building, I like focusing on, like, why they got to that point in the first place. So, because of that, I use that to, like, put in a visual piece. I don't even know how, but I guess it always happens on the time, like, in the time being it comes. Like, that's how I like building it. So, that's why I think real stories are very interesting.
Yeah.
Because it's cool. It's, like, it's very psychological. I used to read a lot of books, more just to, like, focus on myself, like, why I was a very timid person and how to get out of that. But reading books on how people work and why they work a certain way is mad cool. That's what I focus on.
That's dope, bro. That's dope.
What influences you?
What influences me? I feel like just the world itself influences me. Like, I honestly want to see the world better. Like, and like if I can throw a little like seed by telling you a story and like making you feel uncomfortable so you realize like this isn't like, well, that's my goal. This, make you feel uncomfortable so you realize this shouldn't be done this way and there's other ways to go about it.
What specifically, I guess? So
like, let's take for example specifically my film The Lucky 2. I mean, I exaggerated it, of course. There's everything you have to exaggerate in film, but it's basically gentrification in Washington Heights where I lived.
It became gentrified?
Yeah, it's still becoming gentrified. Like
that makes sense.
Like I just went to visit my mom.
Yeah.
Like 2 days ago, my parents, and right there on 181st, there was this movie theater that was right there on 181st and Broadway, and I just went there and I'm turning and the whole thing just is like it's not there no more. They took down the whole building. It's just flat land and it's a whole big lot. And I'm like, I know what's coming there already. A big ass building. Yeah. Rent up the sky. Yeah. Gentrification. That's all I can think of, So I wanted to make a story about that. I mean, honestly, there's really nothing we can do to stop it.
Nah, it happens.
We're not going to be able to stop it, but I'll bring awareness to it a little bit. And that's what that story is about, bringing like awareness. And it actually started as a monologue. Like I wrote a monologue. And I was like, I really like this monologue, Yeah. I want to make it into a short. And then I thought of like how I could make it into a short, and it became The Lucky 2. And
do you feel like you want to influence people in a way, or do you just want to put the info out? think there's two different ways to approach
Yeah.
storytelling.
I just want people to change, like not change in a sense, like I don't want you to change drastically. I just want you to be aware of what's going on and make better decisions. That's it. Whether that be like if I'm influencing you into making a better decision, or I'm like informing you. No, I guess it would be influencing, because informing is just like telling people like this is what it is, and not basically wanting change after. So yeah, I want to influence people to change.
Okay, so yeah, like we focus more on the change aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think there's always there's two different ways to storytell. Like you either storytell in a perspective that is making people lean a certain way, or having just people just see it as it is, and then making their judgment from that.
Well, yeah, in a sense, you also want to show them how it is, but I feel like I'll push a little bit towards the changing
I think
side
that's right,
here, just a
man.
little bit. I feel like everyone does, no? Unless it's a doc. I feel like documentaries.
Which is why I like it.
Yeah, it is what it is, and you make your own
It's what
judgment
it
for
is.
it. But if you're not doing a doc, I feel like everyone is pushing aside.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way you can tell me. I feel like, personally, maybe you can tell me something that is. I feel like I haven't seen a film that's not a doc. That's just information, and it's not picking a side. I feel like the director, that's the job of the director and the playwright. They have to like pick a side in the story to tell, you know?
So I naturally think people, the majority of them are good. And it's impossible for the majority to be bad. Just if you just think about daily driving. You're driving to work, driving to whatever. Any car could just ram into your ass, but nobody chooses to because nobody wants to be a dickhead. Very few people are dickheads, which is what like makes you think that the world's a dickhead. But people are just good, like naturally. It's unfortunate that people have very like tough lives because they're in an environment where the majority are bad influences.
I feel like,
But it is up to you to like really get out of there.
I feel like you're onto something there. I feel like people are, I want to say, because it's like a yin yang. I feel like people are
It's a balance.
mostly good. Like,
Mostly good.
because we make bad decisions. We're not,
Always.
So
but it doesn't make you bad.
No, it doesn't make you bad. It doesn't make you bad. Exactly. But that's why I say we're mostly good. Because what makes you bad?
It's a and
Making
that's the
bad
thing.
decisions. Making a lot more bad decisions than good, I guess, would make you bad.
But it's also like what really is like good or bad.
Yeah.
And naturally the human like perspective is just gonna go to a helping of each other. It's not gonna go downhill. It's very rare when it goes downhill. That's usually when there's an influence. But if you, I think in general, like if you show things the way it is, like people are naturally, there's always a natural perspective to go positive. People want to be positive. Nobody wants to really be negative.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I like showing like things the way it is, because then people are gonna make their own decisions in that way. Like influencing too. Like if there's something I really believe in, like I'm gonna influence. I'm gonna show a perspective. But I think the biggest perspective to show things or to make people influence a certain way, which how you said, just show them what it is.
Because people naturally go to the good. I see that. I like that.
Whether it's the good or bad, like people are naturally like good. Like I think, fortunately for me, I've never been like in a depressive state. Like I think it's impossible for me. It's just the way my mind works. It's just, that's just how it happened. I've had, everyone's had their fair share of like negative things happen. I don't want to get into that because it doesn't really matter. It's everyone's perspective is different. Like if you crash your car or whatever, right? For you, that could have been the most devastating thing in the world. Somebody else could have lost someone, like a friend or something. And to them, it's just as equally devastating as losing a car. Who are you to say that, like, which one was more devastating, Because each of them had his own certain importance. So, like, that's why I feel like experiences doesn't really matter. Yeah. It's how you actually felt. So I just think documenting the way things are is just how it should be. Because people are naturally going to pick the good experience.
But then how would you tell, like, a story with... Well, you could always tell stories documentary, of course. But it would be always, like... Because when you're documenting, you're telling stories based on what happened. So you're still telling a story, It's like it happened in real life. And, like, we're talking right now. We're talking about stories that happen. So we're storytelling.
You're storytelling a perspective. But then when you give multiple perspectives, which one's the good one? Which one's the bad one? Which one's the important one?
It's up to the viewer.
Yeah, it's like that's why I think it's important. Like showing things the way it is. It's like it's about perspective. Like when you think of perspectives, the more you know about people around you, the more you're gonna be naturally understanding because you just know a bit more. and then when you show like a perspective of something, it's just as important as showing like the positive and the negative. So whenever it's like if you want to be happy, you can't just tell everybody, oh, positive vibes only, positive vibes only.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you have to experience negative because it's like that's just part of life. You have to. So when you show a perspective of like a story, like of someone coming up, it's cool when you see like the negative experiences because then people can relate. And then, there's naturally a positive outcome.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think that's,
I
like
agree.
that.
I agree.
What do you do daily that helps you be creative?
What I do daily? Well, I try to like my thing recently was like I want to touch the camera at least every day once.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I haven't been doing it. So daily, what I do, I create a cup of coffee daily.
That's my essential.
I wake up.
I was gonna ask you for more too later. What?
Yeah, I'll brew some more.
Did you add anything to it, or was it just straight coffee?
No, straight coffee. Just
really?
Straight,
what coffee is that?
I did a mix. I did a mix of Supremo coffee and Café Bustelo. So
I see it right there. Yeah.
Oh, you see it? Where is it?
Yeah, the Café
Oh,
Bustelo.
yeah. So I mixed those two, and that's it. But I like it real strong.
Yo, it tastes good. It was actually pretty sweet. I thought you put sugar in it.
Oh, I did put a little bit of sugar.
Oh, okay. I was about to say.
2 teaspoons.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I didn't even ask you, but I put 2
I was
teaspoons.
like, why? It tastes pretty sweet.
Because I was like, it's going to be too bitter if I just give you that coffee like straight.
It might be, but no, it tastes good.
I make, as my mom calls it, tinta, ink.
Tinta.
Just like,
I
this
don't
is
really.
ink.
Yeah, I don't really try. I like drinking black coffee. Usually like Colombian coffee. It's like a perfect balance of like. Just,
Colombian coffee is strong too.
Yeah. Juan Valdez.
Yeah.
Isn't that good? So your routine. Let's see like what I like asking people what their daily routine is because.
So my daily routine, I would wake up, brush my teeth, scrape my tongue. Make sure you get a tongue scraper. Scrape that bacteria off your tongue.
I have that actually.
And then I'll come brew some coffee and a bagel with cream cheese, and I'm out the door to work. Now I'm working from home, so it's amazing.
Do you do that every day? Like that's the actual routine?
I try to do it every day.
Really?
Yeah. And then to get creative, like I feel like when I'm most thinking and like creative, it's driving.
Really?
Yeah, driving. And like people love to drive with the radio on. I drive with the radio on too, but with the radio off and you're driving, it's like meditating. It's like,
like silence.
Yeah, silence. Like, that's when I think of like projects and stuff. And like I always have to, now I have to drive to work, which is like 45 minutes. So I have time to like think and,
Do you meditate or not? Or is that your driving?
I feel like driving is meditating. I haven't meditated. Like, yeah, I feel like driving is meditating, but I haven't like sat down like, okay, this is my time to meditate. I'll try that though. And see
when
how
it's like long drives, when I used to commute to Jersey City a lot, I started listening to a bunch of podcasts.
Yeah, podcasts.
It's what got me into doing a podcast. Because I think it's interesting to have conversations with people and just to hear like what they're talking about. It's like when you go into a room, I like hearing people like talk because that's how you know things, and that's how you gain like something. When you're talking, you're not really gaining anything. You're just restating what you already know. Yeah. But when you're listening, like obviously, like it's when you actually know stuff, and people naturally like talking about themselves. So I always try to get people to tell me about themselves because they're just gonna naturally spill out whatever they like.
Yep.
It's mad cool.
It's all gonna come out.
Yeah, it's all cool. People just want to be heard. Which is why I like I wanted to make Creators Block. So my point for that is to have like a platform and a collective for people to just tell their story. Because again, I think art is valuable when there's a documented history behind that, and knowing what people are about. That's what makes art valuable. Like if you see, like I said, the Mona Lisa, like the history behind it. That's why it's so valuable. And to document it in early stages, I think that's important because then the next 20, 30 years, that's when it becomes valuable. And like the first podcast, it's usually like the most important one. That's what I want to do. I want to collect people's like podcasts.
Yeah. Oh,
I think it's cool, man. I think it's cool. Because then later on, when you make like a big film and stuff like that, like I want to remember this time where it's just
I
like
had his first podcast.
It's just like, I mean, I'm not sure if I was the first podcast, but am I actually?
Well, I've done like I've done
like
one
interviews,
before.
Probably, right?
Interviews, yeah. I've done interviews, not podcasts. So I guess you would be the first podcast.
But even so, even just like early stages, like
but even after all the interviews and podcasts, I gotta say this is one of the best ones.
I just want to talk, yo. I just like converse.
Yeah.
Like, have you listened to Joe Rogan's podcast?
Of course, who
Dude,
hasn't?
it's just like, it's crazy. He's just having conversations, and I think,
and he's getting paid, bro.
yo, bank Spotify deal. I wonder if it's gonna go up or down, because people are talking mad shit about it, like the Spotify deal.
Why? What are they talking
Well,
about?
just think he sold out, but because YouTube, the comment section was like a big thing there, and he had it all over YouTube. Like, it's just everywhere. Now that it's exclusively to Spotify, like it's not, you can't find it anywhere else. I don't know. People are a little frustrated about that, so they think he sold out. I mean, we'll see. They thought he was stupid for doing podcasts 10 years ago. So
Yeah.
So it's gonna change. He's still gonna do what he's doing. So
For sure.
oh, and now I want to get into like creator's block. How do you get over that? Do you just keep writing like how you said?
Yeah, like sometimes you have to step away because it's like frustrating. Like I feel like I get frustrated if I'm like there with the pen and paper and nothing's coming out. But like I said before, how I deal with it, I was just like, I just take the paper and just start writing.
When was the last time you had one?
Creator's block, not too long ago actually.
Really?
Like recently, I also been getting into like making songs and like rapping and like.
Oh really?
Yeah,
I didn't know.
Like it's starting like comedy rap and like here and there, but I'll get some creator's block there too. So I feel like I just step away from it for a few minutes, maybe go make myself a cup of coffee, go use the restroom, then come back and see
See how you ended up doing. Do you ever push through it, or is just?
Yeah, you can push through it, but to me, what works best, because like my thing is I don't want to be frustrated making something.
Yeah.
So I just step away for a little bit and then come back with a clean slate.
Because I like a balance of both. It's like you don't know. I don't know when to ever like step away or to like keep going.
The thing about stepping away is like if you get frustrated and you step away, then you don't want to come back to it. That messes it up too. So yeah, I see where you mean the balance is needed. I try to push myself, but like again, if I'm frustrated doing something, I'm not gonna.
I know. I always think it depends on the situation, which is why like I never know, because sometimes you're in like a state of flow, and not necessarily like it's just flowing right, but it's like if you don't finish this, like that's it, you're asked out. Like your thought process is not gonna be the same.
Yeah.
So then I either stick through it like that, or I just like keep going.
No, when you're flowing, you have to flow. You have to
flow.
Yeah, because if you like, it's happened to me before in the car. I'm like meditating and I think of this idea and I'm like, yo, this is awesome. I'm gonna do it like this and that. And then when I get to the place I'm at, I'm like, damn, I didn't write anything down. I don't remember shit, bro.
Yo, that happens to me a lot.
Yo. And you're like, yo, that was it. That was what's gonna get everybody to be like, oh shit.
You know what I do sometimes? I just record myself, just talk it out.
Oh yeah. That's
and then I just say it. I'm just like, yo, think about this and that. And I still have a lot of recordings of myself when I was coming up with like the skatefilm idea or just like the COVID films, and I was just like talking like the whole thing. I was like this that. Even like creators block, what I want to do for them, just like talking. So there's like a bunch of notes I have to still go through, and that's why I just like I gotta make sure like I write it down or say it, because now you're gonna forget it, and I have a really bad memory, so I have to state it down.
So your voice notes are popping right now.
Voice notes are crazy. And it's mostly in like my camera roll, and I gotta find it actually, because now I didn't think about it. I never really put it in like a folder. I just kind of like just jotted it down. But that's why I always carry like that little note thing I gave you, because I wrote that when I originally came up with like the podcast idea, and that's just like the main topics. Everything kind of branches out afterwards, and I'm not gonna remember that every single time.
Yeah.
So I always just like look at this, and that's why I always keep it like next to me. And it's just a natural convo. Last thing I want to get into is, what advice would you give people to what you do, whether it's acting, filmmaking,
honestly,
or storytelling?
You gotta find it. What is that you want to do, and then just keep working at that. Like if you like storytelling, just find a way like each day to do a little bit of something, whether that be writing an idea, recording yourself, like. And if you can't do that, then be around people who do that. Like, look for somebody that you might want to, like, be like.
Yeah.
Look for somebody look for somebody that's in the field. Because if you're around them, eventually, like, look, for example, AD. I always saw his work. I was like, yo, damn, this guy, he knows what he's doing. Like, I wanna get that knowledge. I want my videos to look like this quality. I want to learn how to do this. You know, somehow I made it to him, and like, look, he showed me how to the whole Black Magic camera. Like, he helped me set this up.
Yeah, I still don't even know how to do that.
Yeah, he helped me set this up. He learned so much shit. So grateful for this guy, and like, now I know that. Now I'm looking for something else. Now I'm like, okay, where can I find a good storyteller now? Now I know the camera work. I know how to do the camera. I know how to do sound. Where can I find somebody that knows how to tell stories? And like, you know, I'm starting to reach out to creatives now like that. Now I'm working with Isaac. You know, he's writing. He tells his stories, and it's always like just learning as much as you can in the field. Because if you want to be a storyteller, there's so much to storytelling.
Yeah.
If you want to be an actor, there's so much to acting. It's not like, you know, it's not like one specific thing. So if you learn everything around it, like if you want to do acting, I feel like you should learn camera work too. Because then you're aware of camera. Or if you like doing theater, because I studied theater. So if you want to do theater, then you have to be aware. You have to go watch a lot of theater. You have to be in the audience.
How was theater class? Did you like it?
Yeah, I loved it, man.
Really?
I loved it, theater. I loved it because what's different about theater and camera acting is that theater is live, so you get that feedback directly.
Yeah,
you feed off the audience right there.
It's scary.
And you only get one take. It's not like, all right, cut, let's do this again. No, it's like, this is what it is. If you messed up, you got to roll with the punches, and you got to just go.
Oh, that's scary. That is scary. That's like stand-up comedy. Mm-hmm. It's mad scary. It's another monster.
Yeah, I did stand-up comedy once. I bombed so horribly.
Where?
Tommy was actually hosting like
oh, really?
Yeah. I did
I remember him
bombed horribly. Then I came back and I actually won a competition.
The next time or that same time?
No, the next time.
Oh, shit. So that one you did bomb?
The first time I bombed. I put on YouTube my first time doing comedy. I did good. That wasn't my first time doing comedy.
How'd you feel?
The first time I felt horrible. I was, oh my God. I wanted to hide, and you can't hide. It's like, where do I go? I just.
Oh shit. Yo, that's scary.
I bombed, honestly, because I didn't put the work in.
Yeah.
I didn't put the work in. You can never like cheat the system. There's no way. You have to put the work in. Then the next time I put the work in, I like rehearsed it with my girlfriend, helped me out a lot. We was like going over this thing. Came back and like people loved it.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, people loved it, and I actually won. I won $50, a hat, and I was like, oh shit, yeah.
Wait, where did you do it?
I think it was Brown Sugar. It was like a restaurant uptown.
Oh, it's in New York?
Yeah, Tommy was there. Tommy was actually hosting the whole thing, so.
How are they're funny as hell. Tommy
hilarious. I mean, that's what they do.
Yeah.
They're comedians.
Do they do like stand up like that?
Yeah, they do stand up. Yeah. That's what Tommy's like. Tommy's all about stand up. You got to get Tommy on your podcast.
I know. I told him about it. I told him and Ivan about it. I haven't seen him in a while though, because like I don't really go by the studio as much anymore. Fucking work, dude. It's like so much work. But I'm gonna start going like more on the weekends. But I do want to get Tommy and Ivan on the podcast. I think they're mad funny. Yeah.
You have a ball with them.
I know they're so fucking. Their skits are always mad fucking stupid, yo. But yo, it's a pleasure, man. I'm still thinking about like the whole barbershop idea. Like that's mad cool. Like how you get into character with that and like looking at the physical attributes. I think that's interesting. Because I've never really heard anybody explain how they get into like an acting process. Like I hear people like get into character and stuff, but how you describe it, like getting like little motions and stuff, like that makes sense.
Yeah. I feel like once you build the body, everything else comes second. And I mean, I learned that also in City College. Like that's how they first like taught me. Like we would like how they would do. I always go back to the barbershop because that's where I seen the most people and like the most diverse people. But it was basically like it's a black theater. We would be in the space and we'll be walking around, and then they'll say something like, okay, now imagine you're walking and you smell a burger. So you're like walking, and then you're like, how would you walk? Now I smell a cheeseburger. Oh shit, do I like a cheeseburger? Am I a vegan? No, fucking I love a cheeseburger. All right.
Am I a vegan?
Yeah. No, you know the character, like you're thinking about it. So then like you're like, okay, and then you walk, and then they'll like give you another cue, like, okay, like they're changing like things, and you have to constantly that. But I felt like that's what they were building you towards. Like, you know, you build the body first, and then everything else comes.
Oh, what the fuck? That's so weird. That's mad weird. That sounds trippy. That sounds like a trippy experience.
Yeah.
Like that whole drama class or whatever. What class was that?
That was
was that theater?
That was theater, yeah. That was theater. But
that sounds trippy.
I forget what class specifically that was, but that was definitely theater.
I'm too timid for that. I don't think. Oh, maybe not anymore. But Nah, I wouldn't do it.
You wouldn't do it?
I wouldn't do it. I don't know. I might just do it just to get like over the nerves, but I don't know. That sounds cool though. But yo, thank you again. Thank you for the coffee.
Thank you, good sir.
What are your social media points?
Social media, you can find me on Instagram at A1 Versatil, Facebook Alex Planco.
Dude, Polanco sounds like a fake last name. Yeah.
Yo, it's actually popular.
Really? Are you Dominican?
Yes, I'm Dominican. I was born here. My parents are both Dominican from Cotuí, El Cibao.
I don't know what that is.
It's in the south over there.
Somewhere in the island.
Yeah, somewhere in the island.
Yeah, but thank you, man. We got to work on stuff.
Yes.
I want to see all the films you've been doing because I haven't seen any of your other work like that.
Yes, I'm going to send it to you.
But pleasure, bro.
Always.
Thank you.
Thank you, good sir.